So very professional way to handle. So we need to be changed because it was the application is running now 2020, and we need to be change 2020. Just simply this part, nothing more that So we have actuator different path definitions. That's why we need to be, because this is the URL we define into the REST controller. So if I go, let us save it. So if I go save it, so it can go there. So you see the 2020. So what I mean, what with definitions like those who are new, because that's I said I will discuss a bit later more information about how can the, so you see the application, the user registration, API user registration, that's things. So if I go the Postman's, exactly how the definition is works, the user registration API, you see the 2020 API, and then we have the definition of the what we define the here the controller, the REST controller. That's I said I will discuss a little bit more how it is defined, how it is works, and all thing how we structure it, how can you implement the repository service implementation. That's I will discuss a little bit later. And how can you call the utility, your sequence generator is a little bit different, and you need to understand how the sequence need to be called when you are recorded created. Not the, that's I said, it is not the hello world application, it is really professional way to do. So go back to the Postman's, then let's have a check. Is it our applications is up, the actuator. So actuator. So you see the really perfect what we are doing. There's 2020 application running, everything perfect. Then you can check it health checks, maybe the health checks applications. So application is up, and is something there. So we see the something there. Of course, this is a 2020 record and 201 and 2 record is there. So you can see the different approach and sorting without the sorting information 2020 201 202, and now we can make a new entry for 204. Maybe 203 is coming. So 203 is running, is what we expected. 203, maybe say. So how efficient it is, so we can check it. Is everything is properly working? So it's had all the operations, upgrade, update, delete, and all things is the perfectly what we expecting. So you see the 205, 6, and 5, and so on and so forth. So you see how the standard, how the configurations is externally deployed. That's just what you need. Very simple case. You need just like as a professional way, just simply build your jar files, nothing more specials, and just copy the jar file into the respective directory. What I mean here, so respective directory, and build your environmental files, your definitions, where, and define your environmental CMD files or any batch files. Just set where is Java located, which port are free, which server you try to install the data services, and this is the which version you are, which jar file version you are, and put which environment you try to deploy, and then you see the database URL and set the username, password, and so on and so forth. And after your password, is just standard case to run the jar file. That's you set the call the environmental setting files, and then call the Java jar and set the values what you're expecting. And this is the information. How can you run different way? That's I need to be look for with you. And this is the information. It is automatically override the information what we set it here. Exactly what we're setting here. This override the same information, because you need to be externally deploy the application. That's the really most important part. A lot of people, a lot of developer knows how can develop the application, but they don't know how can configure externally to deploy the application as a dynamic way. So deploy the application to configure to configure or to send to the configuration file to the deployment teams, and they simply run the deployment. They change the information, the values that they need to change where they try to install the application. This microservice application. That's the one of way doing. Even Even how can you run also alternative, that's you already maybe you already run these applications. Maybe I can show you alternative approach. So maybe this is the everybody knows how it is works. So maybe everybody knows how it's so it's very simple, because I said this is a really professional way to handle this. You set all the variables, all the parameters, all the arguments, and you call these arguments and set the values into your standard file, the CMD file. After the run the test, it is working. But even the bad cases, if you have a jar file in the root directory where you are running the applications, and then you just simply said that's the double dashes that you port number. Let's say we try to put it 30 and 30. Different cases, how it is depending how it is you handle. So you said the local host we are running, we are developing environments, the your database URL, and the username, password, and so on and so forth. So that means we can run also the same things. It's a little bit not professional way, but as a practice, you can see how it is works. I set it this way, and how it is called it here the professional way. Even you can simply run when after the creating your standalone jar files, and it's just simply set java jar, and then it's working. Let's have execute this command also. So that means we run the application with different port, and then now we can with a little bit not professional way. So you can simply run the applications like that. We can copy up for missing the typing speed. So you can see paste, and it should run the application with the 3030 port. So you see that's the information I need to be discussed with you. Then this information, because and that's a lot of viewers subscribe how the command line argument works. There's how the parameters works, and that's the things. There are a lot of students have, even though the fresher asking me. You see, in the program code, I said which parameter I already set. So you see that I set it like my application port. Sorry, my application port. We were. So my application port, we are 3030. We set it localhost, and then how? Oops, sorry. Let's finish the deployment, and then we can discuss. So it's application 3030. It's running properly. That's what we expected. So this is the information I have. We set all the if you set like this way, then you can print. You can see which command lines arguments you set. This is here 3030 localhost active URL and username and password of your database. It's everything what we expected to print it into the URLs. So this is the information. There's a lot of the subscribers and viewers asking me how it is works, the environmental settings parameters. I just simply print it out. So it says arguments. You see the argument I passed, like I printed it, some informations, which argument I passed the applications. It depends how it is you design, but for the professional case, you need to be do this one. Just printing what happening, because they are the many question is coming. I have not enough time to give in the screencast. How can the settings, the command line arguments, how can set this variable command lines, and how can the parameters, and how can pass, and how can you recall these parameters into your program code. You can, even though the argument, you can use this parameter. Maybe you have a properties file to externally read it and put it this properties files to the file systems, and then set the environmental application need to be run. That's depending how it is, but you need to get the pictures how the parameter is working, how the parameter is settings works. So you see, we set this all the arguments, and it is printed what we expected, what we program it. We said all the argument need to be print, and it is printed what we expected. So it is printed all the parameters. So now applications, what we are running. So first application we are running 9998. Now 2020 with our standard, our professional way configurations. What we did here, these files, and now your application is simply command line tools. We're running the application as a jar commands, nothing more, and we put it the all things in the single line of code. So you see it here, the jar, java jar, and then so on and so forth. It's okay. So it's working. So 3030 is running applications. So what we need to do, the application